Now I'm excited about today's video because in this video I've got an ugly centipede yard, and I'm not only going to tell you what to do to centipede grass and give you some great tips that you can start using today, I'm also going to show it to you. I'm going to show you the products I'm using, and we're going to talk to you about the benefits of centipede and the struggles with centipede, but we're going to show you the results on this lawn. This ugly centipede yard by the end of this video should look much better. So let's get going. Let's dominate this centipede grass. Today's video is sponsored by Yardbook. If you need a software for your lawn care business, go to yardbook.com. I've been using Yardbook since 2015. Here it is, our centipede lawn, and it's got some issues with it. We're not going to fix them all, but I think we can make a radical difference on this yard. You can see it's just filled with all kind of weeds. There's some field matter there with the purple flowers. We got wild violet in the house today. We got some cool season grasses that's blended up in here. We even got some crabgrass in some thin areas there. So a lot of problems that we're not going to be able to solve them all. We got clover, white clover there, but I think we can fix about 98% of the problems just today's application. We're going to check on it for the next couple of weeks and see what happens. Well, let's talk about the products we're going to use today, and then I'm going to give you some general tips on centipedes as far as mowing and things like that. Today we are going to be applying this product to the entire lawn. This is called Change Up. If you're a fan of the channel, then you know I use this product a lot. Now, one of the things that's important on your centipede yard is not to spray this during the spring transition, okay? I'm in Alabama, and so I don't want to spray Change Up on it in February, March, maybe even into April. But if I wait till May, then I'm usually okay spraying Change Up once the centipede is fully green, which it is now. So I want to spray it, and it's going to pretty much wipe out just about every broadleaf weed in this yard, and it's going to do so very quickly. I'm going to use this at 16 ounces per acre, and I've already got it mixed up. It's mixed up here in my ZSpray. This is a 2023 ZSpray, and ZSpray's provided this machine for me. Don't be intimidated by the big machine because you don't have to have this necessarily if you're trying to fix your centipede yard. Now, this definitely makes it easier. I've got the spray mixed up already at the correct ratio, 16 ounces per acre. And then I'm also going to fertilize the yard because in May is a great time to fertilize your centipede grass. I've already got the fertilizer in the hopper. This is an 1819 blend. Now, I'm typically going to fertilize my centipede yards twice per year. I'll do it in May, and then I'll probably come back again in July and do the same thing. With that 1819 blend, you got 9 pounds of nitrogen in a 50-pound bag. And I'm going to put that out with the goal being not to go over 2 pounds of nitrogen for the calendar year. When I put it out, I'm getting about 0.85 pounds of nitrogen per every 1,000 square feet. And I should have clarified that. 2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet for the calendar year. So I'm going to put it out with 9 pounds in the bag. It takes a little bit of math. Let's just think, if I use that bag and I covered a 10,000 square foot yard, I'm putting out 0.9 pounds of nitrogen for every 1,000 square feet. Well, if I did that twice, that would be 1.8 pounds of nitrogen for every 1,000 square feet. So if I did it in May and then came back and did it in July, you'd be at 1.8 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to apply that fertilizer on this yard at about a 50-pound bag for every 10,000 square feet. Now, this yard's not 10,000 square feet, but I've already got my spreader calibrated so I can put it out at that correct rate. And I'm also going to spray the Change Up at 16 ounces per 1,000 square feet. Now, what about the other weed? Well, the one weed I do want to target today is some of these big clumps of grass. Now, you got fescue clumps and ryegrass clumps and things like that are growing up in the lawn, and I want to target those with two products that I often mix together. So I showed you the Change Up, which is great for getting rid of broadleaf weeds, but when I'm talking about spot treating weeds in warm season grasses, Bermuda, zoysia, centipede, and St. Augustine, I often mix these two products together, Celsius and Certainty. Certainty is great for grassy weeds and also sedges. Celsius can also have some effectiveness on grassy weeds and also works on broadleaf weeds. So if I mix these two together in a little 2-gallon sprayer like you see here, then it's going to do great on spot treating sedges or just about honestly any weed you're going to see in a warm season lawn. But today particularly, I've got confidence that the Change Up is going to knock out the broadleaf weeds, so I just want to use this to knock out those big clumps of grassy weeds. I may even hit that a little bit of crabgrass I saw, but the good thing about a centipede lawn is if you keep it nice and tight and mowed frequently and it's healthy, you often don't have very much crabgrass. You'll notice the crabgrass that we did see in this lawn was in a bare spot where there was almost no grass. Some of you may remember my friend James. It's a friend of the channel, and James taught me some good things things about centipede that I want to pass along. One is, again, we've already talked about it. Do not spray your change-up and other herbicides like that during the spring transition. I've seen this personally. It can seriously delay the green up and maybe even turn your centipede yard yellow. So I would encourage you, if you have to, just live with some weeds during the spring, but once it turns fully green in May, now we can blast it with the change-up, 16 ounces per acre, which is a low application, and I think we're going to get great results. Also, your mowing practices has a lot to do with it. What I have seen in our area this year, we got down to really cold this winter, single digits, which is very cold for us in Alabama, and I've seen a lot of damaged centipede yards. Oftentimes, the ones that were most damaged were the ones that were not properly cared for before. They were kind of weak going into winter, had a rough winter, and they come out looking terrible in the spring. So from a mowing standpoint, I would recommend frequent mowing, every week if you can, and to mow it low, so an inch, inch and a half, something like that. And if you can keep it mowed nice and tight, then it typically is going to do a great job of choking out weeds, oftentimes without even that much herbicide, and it's going to make it hopefully have just be a healthier turf that can withstand drought or even a hard winter. All right, let's get started. I'm going to fire up the ZSpray. We're going to spray all over this. You'll notice my ZSpray when I'm driving it, it's going to be putting out little bubbles as I drive. That is a foam marking kit, and what that does is allow me to see where I've sprayed and where I have not sprayed. Pretty cool feature. These wild violets are going to be tough. I'm afraid the change-up is not going to knock these out, unfortunately. Solitaire is a great product for those, but unfortunately solitaire can be rough on centipede lawns. So if you have a solution for wild violet in a centipede lawn, I'd love to hear it, but unfortunately today's application is not going to solve this problem. All right, I've got the yard sprayed. I'm gonna spray these little clumps of ryegrass and cool season grasses popping up in the lawn, fescue, whatever it is. And sorry, my cool season grass knowledge is not too good. While I was here, a young man pulled up with a truck and a trailer and a mower across the street, and he was gonna mow the yard, and I thought, oh man, here I am trying to film a video, and now a lawnmower gonna fire up. Well, he sat there politely until I was finished. You can hear him mower in the background now. But he walked over, he said, hey, I introduced himself. He said, I'm about to cut this yard. He said, I just didn't want to interrupt your video. I watched you on YouTube. And so anyway, very polite guy, and he's over there mowing a tall, nasty yard across the street. So if you hear a little mower noise, that's what's going on with that. Let me spot treat these weeds. We're gonna check back on this yard, and we're gonna show you the results so we can see the transformation. And also, actually, I almost forgot. Let me throw some fertilizer out. So I'm gonna use the same machine, go ahead and fertilize this yard, and then we'll spot treat the weeds. Then we'll come back and check. How's that? All right, got it fertilized. Let me spot treat the weeds. We'll check back soon. It's been 9 days since I sprayed this lawn. The initial day that I was over here, I wanted to share a story. There was a guy across the street you might have saw with a mower in the background. He came over after I got done filming. He said, hey, I watched you on YouTube. He said, I didn't want to interrupt your video. He was mowing the grass across the street. So very nice guy. I appreciate him. I'm not interrupted with the mower noise. That would have been natural background noise. It would have been perfectly fine, but he was very respectful, so I appreciate that. Let me show you what's going on with this yard. What I did, again, was spray with change up and then fertilized the yard, and then I spot treated the grassy weeds with Celsius and Certainty combination. So let's check out and see what it looks like 9 days later. And as I look, I was thinking about this video. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video and publish it on YouTube. But when I do that, what normally happens is people say, sometimes somebody will say, it's not that much better, you know. So 9 days days is great on the weed control. 9 days is not enough time for this fertilizer to really dominate. But let's show you what the changeup has done so far. And you can see that clover, what it did to it. I know it should continue to wipe it out as time goes on. Now, I'm not mowing this grass. It could use cut a little bit more frequently probably, and if it was my yard, I would probably cut it low and have a little tighter mowing pattern. You can see there's some Dallas grass in here. This will be very difficult to get rid of. Got this, I think that's dichondrous, kind of a lily pad shaped weed that's gonna be tough to get rid of, but it looks like it is discoloring a little bit, probably from the change-up application. And then some of this cool season grasses that I was spot treating with the Celsius and Certainty, you can see it kind of fading out too. So it looks like we're getting pretty fast results on that, and we need a little more time again for the centipede to start filling in. See here what it did to the clover. Just wiped it out. Some of these bare spots need to fill in, but overall, I mean, we got some fast result. And I was seeing these kind of brown spots, and I think most of that is where we had the cool season grasses. You know, I mean, the Certainty Centipede, I'm sorry, Certainty Celsius, not Certainty Centipede, Certainty Celsius combo did a lot to those cool season grasses. So, and you can see, I don't even know what this was. That was a weed of some sort, and it's just wiped it out totally. I mean, there's some spots in here where there were weeds, and it's just smoked them so bad you can't even identify them. Whatever those weeds were are no longer a factor. And you see, sometimes this happens, you get Bermuda grass sneaking in to your centipede lawn. So it'll be a little bit of a competition. Usually when there's Bermuda and centipede together, the centipede ends up winning out. So over here, you know, we've got some really nice color for centipede, not super dark, but I mean, this looks pretty good, honestly. So if we can get all of this transfer over here, fill in some of those kind of yellow patches where the cool season grasses were. So what I want to do is give this a little bit more time. Very pleased with the weed control that we've experienced in such a short period of time, but let's give it some more time so the spots like this that were a big patch of clover and now a big bare spot can fill in. So I don't know, maybe another 3 weeks or so we check back and then wrap up the video. We'll see how I'm feeling, but overall good results. We'll check back soon. Well, it's been a few weeks since we did the work here on this centipede lawn. I want to show you what it looks like today. All right, here it is. And I know it's not perfect. This is not a perfect centipede lawn, but I do think it's much improved. Let me show you what I'm seeing here. I see some centipede, especially over here, that's got pretty good color to it. It looks like the fertilizer's kicking in. Now, I do see some cool season grasses still mixed in here with this darker green colors. We didn't get rid of all of those. There's a little bit of crabgrass from not having a pre-emergent put down in January, which honestly, if the centipede gets filled in nice and thick, you may not have to have a pre-emergent, because I think this yard, if honestly, could benefit from just frequent mowing and get this centipede nice and thick. You wouldn't have as many weeds. Now, you got some Dallas grass in here. It's going to be tough to get rid of, but overall, it looks like we got rid of just about all the broadleaf weeds. We were able to spot treat a lot of those cool season weeds, and the lawn is looking better. We've had some rain. I think, again, I would recommend just mowing this yard at 1.5 inches once a week and helping that centipede get nice and thick, and over time be able to choke out some of the weeds. The Dallas grass, I don't know what to do about that, honestly, in a centipede lawn. That's going to be a very much a challenge. Let's walk around the corner and see what it looks like over here. Got a few kind of bare patches in this lawn. I'll say this, our centipede lawns took a beating this winter. We got down single digits around Christmas, had a late frost in March. We got 3 days down in the 20s that zapped it. So some of these bare spots may just not have recovered, honestly, from the winter damage, and hopefully over the course of the summer it's going to fill in and look even better. And you see on this side looks more the same. Again, you got a couple bare spots in here, but overall I think the color of the grass is coming along, and it definitely got rid of a lot of the weeds. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you hadn't done so, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to go to the 2024 Lawn Care Life Conference, that'll be my 4th conference I put on. First one done after a 4-year break, I'll say that. We got a lot of good speakers coming. Info's over at lawncarelife.com. There's a link that says conference. Also, lawncarelife.com, that's where you'll find the Weed Control and Fertilization Academy information if you want to buy that. That would be for somebody that's mowing grass and wants to get into weed control and fertilization, particularly for warm season grasses, which is what I deal with. It's a video course, but comes with a lot of other things, documents and things that help you make that jump if you want to get into weed control and fertilization. Appreciate you watching. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so, and we'll see you guys in the next video.